Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to today's morning report with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Handtech Markets on Thursday the 16th of April. The European trading session has got off to a slightly weaker start, and that's sort of come with the gradual assessment that Greece is becoming a bit of a concern once again in the markets. There was a downgrade by the S&P rating agency yesterday, and also the comments by German Finance Minister Wolfgang Schäuble, who basically said that Greece was that they were going to have problems to come in terms of coming to an agreement for next week, and it sort of pushes Greece further towards the brink. Really, I mean, I'm sure they'll get the business done in the end. They always tend to do so, but it seems to be that in the meantime there's going to be a bit of volatility on the back of the potential for it to go all pear-shaped again. So that's sort of putting a bit of negative slant on the sentiment today. Markets in Europe slightly lower, but the DAX is suffering disproportionately a bit to the downside. But certainly the impetus is to the downside today. It's funny actually in terms of the dollar. I'll show you the dollar index here, which we've seen just spike around a bit in the last couple of days. Really, it's sort of been quite volatile intraday. You generally tend to see, if I show you the intraday dollar moves here, and zoom in, you can see that sort of generally in the European session you tend to get a bit of support, and then into the US session you tend to get the selling pressure coming through. That happened on Monday. On Tuesday and yesterday as well, and the selling pressure yesterday evening came through with the beige book, which was just showed a bit of a downbeat assessment by the Fed of the economy. So that impacted the dollar there. But there's been a slight clawback in the Asian trading hours and also into the European session again. But you've got further data this afternoon which could have an impact. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this oil price. Look at this, WTI breaking out to a new 2015 high. Get my years right. 2015 high, and that's a big breakout. That actually completes a big base pattern. 2.5 months worth of base pattern there, or 3.5 actually months of base pattern, and it needs certainly a second close above that resistance that was at 54.24. That's now become supportive around that $54 neckline there. So look out for that support coming through there, 54. But certainly the technical indicators on WTI are beginning to turn far more positive, and that breakout yesterday came on the far lower than expected oil inventories that were announced by the EIA yesterday afternoon. So that was a big strong breakout, and that certainly had the impact of giving Wall Street markets some support. The S&P 500 supported by that oil price and also by the start of earnings season, which has been relatively positive actually, albeit on vastly reduced expectations. So that takes me on to the data that we've got to come out today. Data is basically US based pretty much throughout the day. Into the afternoon you've got a lot coming out. 1:30 actually, you've got the weekly jobless claims, 280,000. Now anyone who read my report that I wrote yesterday sort of lunchtime just actually focused on jobless claims a little bit and just suggested that any time that jobless claims comes out pretty much in line with expectations doesn't really do a great deal. It's only really when you see just a significant beat or miss. Certainly in the last few weeks it's been beaten estimates in terms of jobless claims falling, that's had an impact on the dollar. So that 280,000 is the expectation there, so in line pretty much with last week. And then you've got also the building permits and housing starts. Now, housing data has been a relatively positive impact on the dollar recently. We had a bit of a drop in housing starts last month to 897, but that's expected to spike back quite significantly to 1.04 million this month. So a nice rebound is expected there, and also on the building permits as well continues to rise. 1.08 is the building permits expectation there. 1.08 million. So a fair bit of data that we can watch out for today, and as I said, that housing data recently has been supportive of the dollar, interestingly, as has the jobless claims. So that takes me on to my chart of the day, which today is the Euro Yen. Now, I think Euro Yen is an interesting chart and turning round potentially. Now, we've had this move. Let me zoom out here slightly, where you've got this decline. Actually, if I show you first of all on the daily chart, we see this downtrend that had been in place. That downtrend is sort of now becoming supportive, interestingly enough. And look at also just recently in the sell-off. That sell-off just started to lose a bit of impetus to the downside. We've just started to see some more positive candles. Today actually has been a bit more spiky, and when I actually wrote the morning report, it was looking fairly positive, looking potentially even towards a breakout of the base pattern. This base pattern here above 127.85. If you saw a move above there, I think that would complete a base. But certainly, it's just pulled back slightly on the intraday chart. But the other thing is, look at these momentum indicators on the hourly chart. The MACD was consistently falling away through that selling pressure, and is now sort of started to turn up. You've got a slight bullish divergence on the MACD and also on the RSI, and you've seen the RSI recently just starting to find support above the 30 mark on the hourly chart. So just some slight signs of a turnaround, and basically what I would say is now you've sort of had this slight correction intraday. If you find that you're starting to see another higher low above that 126.25 area, then that I would say would start to sort of see this turning around potentially. You have got this potential base pattern going on. You've got the moving averages that are starting to bottom out, so there could potentially be something in a near-term recovery on this Euro Yen chart. Certainly, you'd need a move above the 127.85 to really confirm that move, but it just does have this air of an improving chart now, and I'll be very interested to watch this one as it goes. But obviously the key support comes with that big low at 126, just above 126 figure, and obviously that low at 126.24-25 area. So some levels to work with there on Euro Yen, but it just does look to me as though it's starting to turn around a bit. Anyway, I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.